How's it going, everybody? Gavin here. Today I'm going to be going over my 2024 cube and puzzle collection. Over the years, I've acquired 81 puzzles and cubes, and I'm going to be showcasing all of them today, starting off with 2x2. I currently own 5 2x2s, starting off with a Moyu Weipo. This was the second 2x2 I ever owned. Unfortunately, the first one I ever owned I lost, but this cube was the cube I learned Ortega on, and I also got around to sub 10 on this cube. Here is a YJ-MGC. This cube got me to around sub 5 and really did its job for its time when I had. Valk 2. This is a Valk 2. This is one of my backup mains. This was my longest maining 2x2, or probably one of my longest maining cubes of all time. This cube got me like 90% of my personal bests and definitely had potential for its time. This is my other backup main. This is an X-Men Flare. This cube I got to kind of, get a new main, but it never really took over the Valk 2. They kind of just stayed both similar to how I liked them, and yeah. And for my current main, this is a GAN 251 Pro. This I recently got, and has definitely proven to probably be the best 2x2 I've ever tried. And, just getting myself one is definitely nice. Okay, so for 3x3s is going to be a little bit different because I have so many. So in total, I have all of these here, those mini ones, and then these few here. And in total, that brings me to around, I believe, 32 or 34 3x3s. Starting off with this one, this is a 50-year anniversary cube that I bought from Walmart. This one here is a European painting cube, I believe. I got this from my 6th grade math teacher. This one here is a Rubik's Impossible. These two are two dollar store 3x3s. Now going on to the shelf, I have two Rubik's brands. I have a original Rubik's 2.0 and then a more modern Rubik's brand. This is a Cyclone Boys Feiwu, a YJ Guanlong. This is a, I don't know the brand of this one. This is just some 3x3. This here, I believe, this is an RS3M 2020. This one here is a Yushin Little Magic. This is a Valk 3 non-magnetic. This is a Valk Elite M. This one here is a Chi Q. I think it's like a Warrior or a Sail. I don't know the difference. This is a GAN Air SM. This one here is a I believe this one's the Warrior and this one's the Sail. So Warrior Chi, Warrior W. This one here is Cosmic Yushin Little Magic M. This here is, I believe, oops. This one here is, I believe, one of my old mains, the RS3M 2021. This here is a non-magnetic Yushin Little Magic. This is a GAN 356X. This was a really, really good cube for its time and was one of my favorite mains. This here, I believe, is a Moyu Meilong. Here is my GTS 3M. This is my Super RS3M. This is a Mini Valk. This is a X-Men Tornado version 3. And this is my backup main for one of my backup mains for 3x3. This is an RS3M version 5. This is my current one-handed cube. And then my current main is the Moyu Weilong version 9. It is Angstrom as well. And then for mini cubes, I have three unknown brands, and then this Rubik's Mini. So yeah, that's all my 3x3s. Alright, now back on the tripod, we have 4x4s. I currently have 5 4x4s. This is a Chi Yuan, I believe. I don't remember at all. This is my first ever 4x4. It sucks. It is terrible. But I did learn the 4x4 on this cube. So, yeah. This here is a Chi Wuchui. This cube was really, really good for its time. I do remember getting a lot of personal bests on it. And I believe I got down to around sub 120 on this cube, maybe. Around there. This here is a Yushin Little Magic. This cube I used for a good little while. This got me down to around, I would say, 55 seconds or so. So, yeah. Alright, this is my current backup main. This is a YJ-MGC. This cube is pretty good, and I would still probably use it today if it weren't for the lockups that I get on it sometimes, and that the size is a little bigger than my current main. This cube brought me down to, I believe, I'd say around like 43, 42 seconds. But, I got a lot of good personal bests on this cube, and, served me well for a few years. This is my current main. This is an Angstrom Aosu WRM. The size, the speed, just everything about it's pretty good, and I'm currently averaging around, I would say, good sub 40 to sub 39. So yeah, around that. Alright, 5x5. I currently have 3 5x5s. This one here is a Yushin Little Magic. This was my second ever 5x5 that I ever owned. My first one is destroyed. Unfortunately, that was a Cyclone Boys 5x5, but this one here is my first ever magnetic 5x5. This cube brought me down to, I would say, around under 2 minutes or so, to maybe like sub 150, I'd say. I'm honestly not sure. But yeah, it served me a lot of good solves, and I got a lot of good personal bests on here. My backup main is an MGC 5x5. It was Pro Shop setup, now it has a bunch of other lube in it. But yeah, this cube brought me down to around like sub 135 to almost sub 130, but served me a good purpose for the time I had it. And my current main is an X-Man Hong. This cube I currently average around sub 120 on, and you know, just served me a good purpose. It's a great cube. I personally enjoy it a lot, and yeah. Okay, so 6x6 and 7x7 I'm going to be doing in the same shot, just because I only have 2 of each. So starting off with the MGCs, I have an MGC6 and an MGC7. These are my first ever 6x6s and 7x7s. This cube brought me down to around 4 minutes, I'd say. I'm not sure how far I got with this, but that's what I remember. And this cube I used for a couple of years. This 7x7 was the cube I first solved a 7x7 on fully. I never used it for a long time because I got that one a few months later. But I mean, you know, it's a decently good cube. It's just too big for my hands and didn't turn really good. Now for my mains, I use a Moyu Aoshi Worm. This cube is really great. I currently average around 240-ish, 250-ish on here. So I'm hoping to get that down in the future as I'm working on my big cube skills, which I don't really have, but you know, that's okay. Perfect size, great speed, just everything about it. And same thing I could say for the 7x7, I use a Moyu Aofu Worm. This cube, definitely great. I'm not great at 7x7, I average like 4 or 5 minutes, so, you know, just basically, if I can make cutoff at a competition, that's my main goal as of right now. But, you know, drop me down from like 7-8 minutes to what I have now, so, you know, it's something. Alright, now going into side events, I'm going to be starting off with Square One. For Square Ones, I have 7 Square Ones, starting off with this one, which is a Volt V1. This is my second ever Square One. It actually has 2 broken edges, this one here and this one here are both broken. But this cube brought me down to around sub 30, so yeah, great cube when I had it, but you know, it's obviously broken now. This was my third Square One. This is a Yushin Little Magic. This cube sucks. I didn't really like it when I had it, but I also didn't know how to set up a cube in. This cube brought me down to around, I would say, sub 20 almost, around there. This right here is a Volt V2. This cube was really revolutionary for me. This is the cube that really got me into Square One. I would say I got down to around like sub 13 to sub 12 with this cube almost. I'm not exactly sure, but that's around where I was averaging. This here is my first MGC. I believe this, oh, yeah, look at that. Also has a broken edge. But this cube got me to around sub 12, I believe, when I got it. Something around there. But this was definitely revolutionary and really got me to Square One more. This here is my Angstrom MGC. This cube's pretty old. I haven't used it in a long time. But it got me down to around sub 10, so this is definitely my sub 10 cube. But, you know, other than that, yeah. And then I have 2 derpy MGCs. This one is my main, this one is my backup. This one here was the first ever cube I competed with. This got me down to a 995 average in competition and was joyous to use. And this one here is my current main. I currently have an 899 Square One average and hoping to lower that in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, this cube I currently average low 8 on, so yep, that's it for Square One. Alright, now for Skewb. This is my first cube. This is a Chi Hang, I believe. I don't remember the name of it. This cube is very terrible now, but I learned how to solve Scube on this thing, and it got me a lot of PBs. I can say a lot of PBs. I think I was averaging around sub 11 on this cube when I got the X-Men Wingy, which was my backup main, and this is probably my oldest main. I used this cube for around 4 or 5 years, and it served me good purpose, but, you know, it really only got me down to, like, sub 8. I really never got farther down with this cube, but, you know, it was really good when I had it, using it for its time. My current main, the GAN Cube Enhanced. This cube I average 4 to 5 seconds on now. I do use Sarah's Intermediate, but, you know, got me, like, all of my Cube personal records and personal bests, like, that I've had for a while now. But yeah, this cube is great, best on the market, and yeah. Alright, now for Pyraminx. This one is pretty exciting for me, because I recently just got a new one, but starting off with the original ShengShou Pyraminx. This, if you guys don't know, was the first ever Pyraminx, or first ever speed cube I ever touched. This was revolutionary for me, just because I'm like, whoa, I've never felt a real speed cube before. Obviously, this cube sucks and could be, you know, you could get a much better cube. But, you know, this cube was the thing I learned to solve Pyraminx on. This right here is my backup main and my longest ever main. This is a Bell V1, and you can tell how bad I am at Pyraminx because of the way I turn. I don't even turn like this. But, I mean, this cube I've had for 6 years, never bought a new Pyraminx because I hated it. But, you know, got me almost all of my personal bests. I mean, it's insane how far this cube has gone. But my current main and one of my newest cubes, the Moyu Weilong Pyraminx. This is not the Maglev one, but I mean, you know, incredible cube, no setup out of the box for me. I like strong magnets. It had perfectly strong magnets and turns great. And oh, that fell off. Oh, that's kind of funny. You know what? We'll fix that in a minute. Alright, now for Megaminx. Let's go. We love Megaminx. This is my first one. This is an original ShengShou Megaminx. This cube is one of the smoothest cubes in my collection, but also the cube I learned how to solve the Megaminx on. I averaged like 5 minutes when I owned this cube. I hated solving Megaminx because I was so slow. But you know, that's okay, because I'm still slow. This is a Chi Hang, I believe. This is definitely the biggest Megaminx in my collection. Yeah, definitely the biggest. But you know, this cube got me down to like sub 4, maybe. I'm not sure. But you know, when I had it, it was really exciting because, you know, I had a Megaminx with ridges, and yeah. This is my current backup main, and yeah, so this is an X-Men Galaxy version 2. I got this thing a few years ago and never bought a new one until recently. This cube brought me down to like sub 215 maybe. I got a bunch of crazy PBs on it, but you know, never practiced it. And my current main, the YJ Yuhu version 2. This cube turns great. I love it so much. Just, yeah, I've been practicing like crazy. I currently average around like sub 150, sub to like 2 minutes-ish. So, yeah, that's it for Megaminx. And for everybody's favorite event, clock. I have one Chi clock. I've had this thing for a couple of years now. Works fine. Love it. One of my favorite events. Still use flip. Need to not do that, but you know, that's okay. But yeah, this cube has still been serving me really great since 2022. So now for my non-WCA puzzles, I have a Rubik's Edge, or a floppy cube, and it does flop, as you can see. It's pretty cool, you know. Got it at Walmart. This is a Chi 2x2x3. This thing is very similar to a Square One, if y'all don't know. You can use a lot of the same algorithms, just like JJ, which is pretty cool. And yeah, this is a Rubik's Snake. I don't know how to solve it. Turned it into this, and then left it like that, and I probably will leave it like that. This is the Rubik's Orb Cube, Rainbow Orb. I don't really know what to call it, but it's pretty fun to solve, and yeah, I don't really know. This is an Ivy Cube. This is probably one of my favorite non-WCA puzzles. I used to just speed solve this thing for fun, and yeah. This is a Fisher Cube. I suck at it. I've solved it like 5-10 times. It just kind of sits on my shelf like most of these, and you know, kind of just sucks to turn, but that's okay. This is an Infinity Cube. I used to fidget with this a lot back in like freshman year. I would just do this over and over again. I don't really know, but yeah, it's fun. use a fidget cube. Don't really know what else to say. This is a Mefferts something. I don't know what it does. I don't know how to solve it. Kind of just a collectible, I guess. Here are my mirror cubes. This is like a Chi one. It's pretty nice. And then these are my 2 ShengShaos that I got for my birthday. They're pretty nice as well. Here's probably my favorite non-WCA event, the Square Zero. Probably because my favorite event is Square One. And, you know, it's just easier. And then this is another kind of infinity cube looking thing. It's another Rubik's thing, but turns into this, and then it can turn back into a 2x2, which is pretty cool. So yeah. And for anybody wondering, these are my 19 cube stands, you know. Got the Rubik's, got the Moyu, and then got everything else. Most of these are cubicle cube stands, but you know, look at that. Look at all that, that's crazy. Yeah. But, I mean, yeah, that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.